Good evening and welcome to Ben Television, broadcasting live from London. My name is Yemisi, and it's Politics with KO. It's going to be a bumper ride today. We're going to have Dr. Abiola Akiode Afolabi, who is the Executive Director and Advocate Resource and Documentation Center in Nigeria. And then Inemo Semiana, Country Director, Stakeholders Democracy Network. And then, of course, Yemisi Ilesanmi. First, we're going to have Yemisi Ilesanmi talk about the Nigerian anti-gay legislation. She is an LGBT advocate based in the UK. We want to know what the We've just got the information that there's going to be a lot of campaign against the anti-gay legislation in Nigeria. And then Inemo and Dr. Abiola are going to be talking about the 2015 election because they are in the UK with the INEC Director, Professor Atairu Jega. Now, INEC, for non-Nigerian, is the electoral body in Nigeria, and Nigerian elections are usually fraught with violence and malpractices. So Inemo and Abiola are going to come on into the studio, will tell us what's happening in Nigeria. First, Ngozi, we don't have enough time. We do apologize for coming on to you late. Ngozi, it's yours now.
Thank you, Kaide. Yes, I'm going to be very quick about it because, like you said, Kaide said, he's got quite a few visitors to talk to us on the show today. So I'm going to start with Nigeria and the Boko Haram militants that are said to be behind the killings of up to 75 people in the northeastern villages in Nigeria in 2 separate attacks. Apparently, there's been an attack in Kawuri village in Borno State, as well as the Chakawa village in Adamawa State, where extremists were said to have come into marketplace with bombs and killing a lot of people, as well as setting fires to homes. Don't forget that Borno and Adamawa states are the 2 northeastern states where President Goodluck Jonathan had previously declared an emergency last year in a bid to launch a dedicated offensive against Boko Haram. And so far, it's been largely unsuccessful. What do you think of this? Is this something that can be controlled? No? What do you think? Tweet us and let us know your thoughts on that. Moving on, and Michael Adebolajo, who was found guilty of the murder of British soldier Lee Rigby, has lodged an application to appeal against his conviction. Don't forget, Lee Rigby was killed last May in Woolwich. And in court, Mr. Adebolajo admitted to killing the soldier, but denied murder because he described the killing as a military operation. He said, and I quote, that he was a soldier of Allah and that it was an act of war. The jury, of course, heard how Adebolajo and his accomplice, Michael Adebowale, drove a car into Lee Rigby at about 30 to 40 miles per hour before dragging him into the road, attacking him with knives and trying to decapitate him with a meat cleaver. Currently, both men are awaiting sentencing, but Mr. Michael Adebolajo, who is now appealing for his conviction, I wonder what you think about that, given the circumstances of their crimes. Again, tweet us and let us know your views on that. Moving on, and this is, I don't know, good news or not in some ways, Michael Schumacher's doctor trying to work to bring him out of coma. Remember, he had his accident skiing last year in December, actually, where he sustained head injuries, and they put him into a medically induced coma to try and reduce blood clot and swelling to his brain. And now they're trying to bring him out of that coma. And, you know, we just wait to see how he comes out of it. His manager has said that he's still stable. Friends and family are praying for him, and we, of course, Kayode, will wish him safe recovery, as we always do. But before I go, this one is for our very good friend, Kayode, Daligeri Bumola on Twitter. He's an avid follower and a very good contributor. And yesterday he was picking on me based on football. And I just wanted to talk about the fact that Manchester City has now taken the first spot on the league table, pushing Arsenal, even though it's just by 1 point, but it's still, you know, kicking off the main people. Anyway, that's me done. Like I said, tweet us and let us know. My tweet, of course, is Agil Ngozi, and Kaide's one you already know, at Ogundamisi, and let us know what you think about the news. In the meantime, stay tuned for Kaide and enjoy the rest of the show. Well,
thank you, Ngozi. Always good to have you on this program. Now, it's going to be serious business today. Nigeria is one of the world's worst anti-gay society. I mean, when you talk about homophobia, Nigeria ranks as one of the worst nations in the world. And recently, the president of the country passed an anti-gay legislation that makes it illegal for anyone to be involved in gay activities. You will get 14 years in jail. So tonight, we're going to tell you that it's not just Nigeria. All over Africa, being gay is more or less a crime, apart from South Africa, where there are no legislation against being involved in gay activities or being a lesbian. So first, what we're going to do tonight is that we're going to take you to Uganda. And please, if you have young children in your house, you need to take them away from the TV set now, because this clip we're going to show to you now is a bit, it's got some stuff that are not meant for young kids. So we're taking you straight to Uganda, and this is an Ugandan pastor talking about the gay activities in Africa and how Africans do dislike gay. So I'll tell my producer, Tony, will just let us go straight to Uganda and see this video. And when we come back, we'll have Yemisi in the studio.
Into the NS all the way. And it is so painful. They have to take drugs, but they enjoy it. Now, if we have any children, please step out. This is a parental guidance moment. That child can be moved out. So I've done research. This is what they do. Number one, you can see a man here having sucked the other person's rectum, and the other person is poo-pooing, and this one is eating the poo-poo all over the place. Oh, yes. Huh? Tell me, when you have a law against homosexuality, do you say except eating poo-poo? I mean, look at this guy sincerely. Bishop. Stagafulaiza. Huh? Hajat. We do not want this sickness. This is sick, and it's therefore deviant. We do not want it.
Now, they start off by touching each other's genitals and smelling each other. Then this one smears the poo-poo all over the other person's face. As if that is not enough, he puts the hand deeper. As Africans, we want to ask Barack Obama to explain to us, is this what he wants to bring to Africa as a human right, to eat the poo-poo of our children?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Pastor Dr. Martin Sempa. I'm here in the capacity as the chairman of the National Task Force Against Homosexuality in Uganda. We are making legislation to make sure that sodomy and homosexuality never sees the light of legality in this land of the Pearl of Africa. I've taken time to do a little research to know what homosexuals do in the privacy of their bedroom. One of the things they do is called anal leaking, where a man's anus is leaked like this by the other person, like ice cream. And then what happens, even poo-poo comes out. The other poo-poo's out, and then they eat the poo-poo. The other one they do is they have a sex practice called fisting, where they insert their hand into the other man's hand, and it goes into the anus all the way. And it is so painful, they have to take drugs, but they enjoy it. Now, if we have any children, please step out. This is a parental guidance moment. That child can be moved out.
Your mic is working. Hi, we're back again. Tony is doing it again, trying to get me on. Now, let's go straight to today's topic. The first part of our discussion today is the anti-gay legislation in Nigeria. And we've got Yemisi Ilesanmi in the studio. Yemisi, you're welcome back to Ben TV.
Thank you, Kaide.
Now, the last time you were here, we were talking about the anti-gay legislation and president. What's your reaction?
Yeah, of course, I'll say I'm very, very disappointed that Mr. President will sign such a bill. And it seems he even signed it in a hurry, because he signed it from the little information we have and from the photocopy of the signed bill that we have, we managed to get. He signed it the same day the bill was brought to his table. Yeah. It was dated the same day. And one would have expected that he would have taken the time to at least ask for opinion on the bill, to look at the content and ask the special advisors and ask human rights committees, ask advice from even the National Human Rights Commission on the human rights implication of this bill. But it seems that was not done. And what was also surprising was that he signed it, but the Nigerians didn't even know about it until a few weeks after.
But Yemisi, the bill is quite popular. I mean, by opinion polls, over 98% of Nigerians think the president has done something really good for the nation. Yeah,
that is it. You know what? When you talk about doing something good for the nation, we cannot talk about the tyranny of the majority. You know, the fact that something is popular does not mean it is right. And the fact that something is well supported by the majority of the people does not mean it should be legal. I mean, even if I'm 1% of the population and I'm a Nigerian citizen and I'm a human being, it goes that I am entitled to every right the other 99.9% of the Nigerian population enjoys. And if they enjoy the right to their freedom from discrimination, they enjoy the right of freedom of association, freedom to be free from torture, right to privacy, it follows that I should also enjoy that right, no matter my sexual orientation, no matter my gender, and it doesn't matter whether I'm in the minority. I am protected by the Constitution.
You are openly bisexual. By implication, if you go to Nigeria today, you're walking straight into jail. It's 14 years because as a Nigerian, by law now, you're not meant to profess being bisexual.
You know what, Kayode, even you that you're hosting this program and you have this line that you think we should be able to talk about LGBT rights, you're actually facing or looking at a 10-year imprisonment according to the law. Because the section 5 of the law says that you cannot talk about, you cannot promote issues on LGBT rights. This is criminalizing freedom of thought, not just freedom of expression. That even thinking about it is criminalized. I mean, it's never heard of in any democratic society. So this is something that Nigerians should not celebrate in any way.
So by implication in that law, even if as a journalist, I openly say to people, I have nothing against gay marriages. I think it's actually quite stupid our country is going down that route. But I also want to say that people have a voice too. They think it's a cultural invasion by the Western world on the country.
You know what? Like I always tell people, I mean, we should not fall victim to the education that was given us by our imperialists or the colonial masters. You should learn. I mean, Google is your friend now. Information is at our fingertips. We should be able to access this information. Culture, when you talk about culture, whether sexual orientation, first and foremost, is a biological thing. It has existed since the first human being. And when you have since humanity, and we know that Africa is the cradle of humanity. And people have come from Africa to spread their branches all over the world. So it follows that homosexuality, as part of being human, something that is biologically inherently human, started from Africa itself. And we also have historical war paintings. In Egypt, we have like this picture here where you have this. It's one of the oldest gay pictures of two black men kissing. You know, those are, they have war paintings of it. And we also have names for homosexuals in Nigeria, in many African cultures, in native names. So it shows that it has existed with us. It has been with us for some time. But even, Kayode, if they want to use the cultural argument, we should ask ourselves, there are so many things that were cultural that are no longer cultural, that we don't accept anymore. Culture is flexible, like the killing of twins, female genital mutilation, women not being allowed to inherit lands. Those were part of our culture. They were normal, but now are seen as abnormal. So it's not an argument to criminalize people.
Because we have problems with the landline today, so we're going to be taking your text messages. You can text to 079-8421-2553. Send in your text messages, and then we'll try and also use the mobile phone. But meanwhile, there's a question on Twitter, and it says, Yemisi, this question is to you. Somebody is saying that you should go to Nigeria and campaign for these things and not stay in the UK.
Okay. You know what? I was in Nigeria when this bill was first introduced. The second time it was introduced in 2009. I was at the National Assembly during the hearing of this bill. I spoke against this bill.
Hold on, please.
I spoke against this bill at the National Assembly. I left the country in 2009 to further my education. But while I was there, I've been going back there many times to campaign. So I actually spoke against this bill right in Nigeria.
Okay, well, we've got a caller on the line. Good evening.
Good evening, Father.
Where are you calling from, please?
I'm happy you're doing a very good job.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks to the idea. I don't know why another.
Yeah.
That one person in London
Yeah.
was at Volkswagen.
Yeah.
And I was watching the footage that a lady was just kneeling and squat on that lad, and the lad was licking the underneath of that woman. What will you call that? When this footage was saying that they are hitting people, look, let me tell you, all what they are saying now is over the bar. Nigeria got a lot to talk about. Lots of people talking about homosexual gays and the order of this guy today. Now let me tell you, like the woman was just talking, everything about sexual or interaction with male and female, or female male, or male and male.
Yeah.
Has been in existence.
Okay.
To believe that human beings are born in existence.
Okay.
So what are they talking about?
Oh.
Let us go down to Nigeria. In the north, in the south, and the west, all these things like this. If we want to be that properly, what do you say?
Okay.
Stop lying.
Okay, I get your point, and because we've got another set of guests here, I take your point too, and it's quite clear that this is quite an animated debate, and back home in Nigeria, there's been a lot of questions, even on Twitter right now. There's been a lot of questions on Twitter about why are we even having this debate at all, but we need to have this debate. I mean, of course, like 99% could have a say, you know, or could have their way, but we still have the 1% that must have their say. And by implication, even those of us discussing this issue are actually in danger. We're not, by law, we're not supposed to be discussing gay issues. Now, Yemisi, when is it right, you know, for Nigeria to take a step back and review most of this law?
I think the time is now. The time for justice is always now. Justice delayed is justice denied. Yeah. You cannot delay people. You cannot deny people their fundamental human rights. Right now, people are being arrested in Bauchi. People are being beaten up in Sokoto. People are being beaten up in Kano. I have a friend who was stopped in Lagos, who has his belongings searched by policemen because they said he looks effeminate, he looks gay.
Okay, so let's take this call.
The time to review this is really now.
Okay, let's take this. Good evening. Where are you calling from, please?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, where are you calling from? What's your name, please?
Yeah, I'm calling from Southeast London.
Okay, and what's your name?
Yeah, my name is Chibike.
Okay, Chibike, go ahead, make your contribution.
Yeah, please, I want to ask, what is wrong with Nigeria? Yeah, what is wrong with Nigeria asking...
If you just reduce the volume of your TV set and speak directly to the phone.
Okay. Yeah, I've received it here. Yeah. What I'm asking is this: I want to know what is wrong with Nigeria passing anti-gay laws. Like, let's take for example, in UK here, there are certain things they legalize that don't exist in other countries.
Okay.
In China, there are certain things they legalize that don't exist in other countries.
Yeah.
Likewise in US.
Yeah. So are you for the law? Are you for the law or against the law?
No, I am in total support of anti-gay law.
Okay.
Anti-gay law is not Africa, and there's no way it can exist.
Okay. Let Yemisi. I want Yemisi. Yemisi, can you reply to that?
Please. The first thing I've said is education is key. Ignorance does not help anybody. Ignorance begets fear, and fear begets hate, and hate leads to violence. First and foremost, look into your history. Just Google it. Being homosexual is very much African. It is part of human nature. It is a biological thing. As a human being, Africans are not different from other human beings. So we have this in us. In every human society, Africa is not an exception. In Asia, in America, in Europe, from time immemorial, Africa cannot just say it is not part of it. And to the other side, to the other part of your question, where you said there are some things that are legal in other countries. Now, the thing is, the fact that the other countries practice things that, or rather, to practice a certain lifestyle that is legal in your country but illegal in others, does not mean you have the right to criminalize people who do things.
Let me give him a right of reply.
And another thing is, if you are talking about, let's say, polygamy, people keep using the issue of polygamy. Now, polygamy is a lifestyle issue. If you want, it's cultural. Even Europe used to have part of polygamy. There used to be parts when in the history when you have polygamy. It is not as if it is an African thing.
Okay, let me
it is a lifestyle. It is not an homosexuality. Homosexuality is an orientation. So if you want to practice polygamy, you have the right. Even in Europe, people are fighting for the right to be polyandrous.
Let me give him a right to reply.
It's not a different thing.
Do you agree with what Yemisi has just said?
Yeah, I'm a student, and there is no way I can agree with that.
Okay.
Because you don't like facts.
Okay.
Your Bible is not my law. That's not an excuse.
Okay, I'm just going to take one last call before we let you go, Yemisi. Now, Yemisi, do you not think that the time? Don't you think that by actually talking about gay, you're bringing Nigeria into disrepute, as some people have said on Twitter now? I
didn't bring them into disrepute. It was the lawmaker who had no business, who had no job to do, who couldn't talk about corruption, who couldn't address bad roads or unemployment, that woke up one day and brought out the bill and they put it into the National Assembly, to the tape of National Assembly. It wasn't gay people in Nigeria. It wasn't Yemisi that went to the National Assembly to ask for the right to marry. And it was one jobless lawmaker that started the whole process. And then every other person followed. So the gay people in Nigeria were not the one that started this process. A lawmaker who was supposed to be making laws to better the country decided to talk about
let me take this call. Good evening. Where are you calling from, please?
Good evening. I'm calling from London. I'm calling from Essex.
Okay, what's your name, please?
Can you tell Yemisi that she is a guest? So let's talk, please.
Okay, what's your name, please? Let's have your name first.
My name is T.
Okay, go ahead, T.
I am quite disappointed with the way. Sorry?
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay. I am somehow disappointed with the way she handled this issue. In the first instance, she's just screaming and shouting. This is a very sensitive issue.
Okay.
And I stated that the issues that are integrated as well. You can sit down there and talk about something happening in Nigeria, criticizing the government. And listen, I'm sure Yemisi had parents because she was born of the father and the mother. And that is why, if you look back and say, if her parents were homosexual, who would have beget her? She's talking this because that begets that.
Okay.
Africans,
let me answer
we respect our culture. If, for instance, somebody has talked the issue of polygamy, which does not exist in this country at the moment, because the British government says you cannot be polygamous.
Okay. We've got very little time. Thanks for calling. And Yemisi, before you respond to that, that's our last call there is a text message here. It says, gay is not natural, but a practice. Tell this, if you go to Saudi Arabia, you can't even have this discussion and this debate. And there's another text message from Spain. Alote from Spain says, I have respect for Yemisi's opinion, but I am sorry, as a Nigerian, I do not agree with homosexual relationship. And then the final text message we're going to take today, it says, my name is John Tex. And John Tex is also saying that Yemisi should know that she's in the minority. She's selling our birthright to the world. This is African culture does not admit gay relationships. So what are your final words for this?
My final words for this thing is that you should always understand when people keep on saying this is un-African, as I've said, educate yourself. There's nothing un-African about that. And then when you say something is unnatural, there are more than documented, that means it's against nature. There's nothing against nature about homosexuality, because even animals practice homosexuality. More than 1,500 animal documented species of animals practice, engage in same-sex relationship. And again, even if when you say gay people cannot procreate or whatever, gay people are less than 10% of the world population, and the world will not go extinct. The whole human population will not go extinct because people are allowed to marry themselves or same-sex relationship. And one other thing, the people are not asking for your approval to marry. up to love themselves. Gays don't need your approval. You don't have to bring your heterosexual smugness into it. Because I don't, as a person, we already have this inalienable human right to engage in our human relationship.
I want to thank you for coming on the show. And then our viewers, because we did promise you all that we're going to be reading your text messages. I've got one here. Gay is a natural phenomenon, but our country has oppressed. I don't know what he's trying to say, but I think what he's trying to say is that we have a right to protect the minority in our country.
Yeah, it's a democracy.
We cannot allow our country to be taken over by homosexuality. We have much more serious problem. And then we have another one which says gay is human, it is rejected right from inhuman, it is rejected right. Anyway, there's a lot of messages coming in.
I think the important thing is if something does not cause harm to you or the society, it is not your business to poke nose into the bedroom of another human being.
Thanks for coming on the program. We are going to take a short break because we still have Dr. Abiola Akiode Afolabi and Inemo Semiama. They came all the way from Nigeria. They're with the INEC chairman, Atairu Jega. And I just want them to talk about the 2015 election. Well, it's politics with KO, and anything can happen. You know, we have the freedom and the liberty to debate any issue in Nigeria, about Nigeria and about the world. So just stay with us, keep calling in. I mean, we're going to use the mobile phone line this week until we fix the landline. My name is Kayode. Please don't go away.
A live phone-in program with Kayode Ogudamisi. Every Thursday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Ben Television. Never a dull moment this summer on Ben Television, Bridging the Gap channel.
Ben Television, the Bridging the Gap channel.